What's good, guys? YouTube! It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And today's live is going to be on way too early, my top 12 quarterbacks for 2024. So let me adjust my video right here, guys. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe on the way in, guys. It helps a brother out. The HBO special. Shout out to my homeboy that says that. I can't think of his name right now. But he always say the HBO special is called Help the Brother Out. Make sure you share the content, subscribe. This is cutting edge content. And again, I say this is cutting edge content because I beat to my own drum. I don't go off of 2023 rankings of who slotted in and just give y'all a consensus. Now, listen, consensus is not always bad, but sometimes you need to see the future. So I go off like a coaching mentality. That's the brand on my channel. Kind of how the coaches think. Guys that's going to be progressing to the next year and getting better. That's my niche. That's my expertise. Guys, if you need consultations, I do consultations for drafting. I know that's right now. You might not need that, but that's coming into the 2024 season. If you want to get a consultation and get half off, make sure that you sign up as a Phenom Crew member and you get half off. I'm still going to offer that as of right now, guys, but the price will be going up. I'm probably going to be charging $50 for that, and I will be doing a draft guide. And if you're on the Phenom package, you're probably going to get half off on that. But you got to be on the Phenom package for at least probably 2 to 3 months to get that special. Other than that, guys, it's going to be a little small fee. It's not going to be nothing tremendous. So, guys, make sure you hit the like button on the way in. So, I see you. I see some of my guys, some of my faithful guys like Nifty still on the membership tier, bruh. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I see Harambe. Yes, sir. Always supporting the channel. Always liking the videos. I appreciate you. I see you shot me out, bruh. You too, Nifty. I appreciate your guys. Yes, sir. So, I'm doing this vertical live. This is a new feature. I talked about this yesterday. So let's begin, guys. I'm gonna start off with the honorable mentions. So that might turn some people off quickly. But the first guy I want to mention that didn't make the top 12 is going to be Jared Goff. Yes, he didn't make the top 12. And listen, guys could be league-winning players, but they might not be top 12 as far as a ranking in the preseason. Now, I'm not going to be able to be perfect 12 for 12 at the end of the season looking at the numbers. Nobody really can do that. You might be able to get 60% on that. You might be 70% if you're really, really great at that. But what I'm going to talk about is Jared Goff, guys, is a really good quarterback to have for his value. Like if I'm trying to win right now, and I got Bryce Young, and he needs to develop, but I got a strong #1 quarterback. Jared Goff is a guy that you could buy for just maybe 1 first round if you're in Superflex. If it's single quarterback, you maybe can get him cheaper for that. But this guy is going to put the ball in the air to Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, and Sam Laporta, and also Jahmyr Gibbs. And they might draft another wide receiver, which I'm pretty sure they are. Guys that can play. So Jared Goff is always going to be able to put up 300 yards passing, which is usually a bonus in most leagues. And he's going to be able to throw for at least 2 touchdowns, even though this is a run predominantly team. So I like Jared Goff, guys. I talked about him 3 or 4 years ago when he first got traded, and people thought I was crazy. People thought, Jared Goff, because I know about people getting better and being put in the right situation. That's my niche. Guys that he got traded, he ain't no good. I might not be always right, but I can break that down and say, no, he actually is going to be good. That's why coaching come into play. Everybody that gets traded or has a bad season don't mean that's going to keep going, right? So you gotta be able to understand that. Let me see. Sports Dog, new setup, clean. Thank you, bro. It ain't a new setup. It's the same setup. I'm just doing a vertical live from my phone. It's from my phone, bro. It's a new feature. It helps the videos get out of the algorithm a little bit different. And I think it's more personal. It vibes with the way I do my lives. I'm not the stage live guy with all the stuff in the background and showing you the stats. So this right here, it helps me out. So thank you, bro. I appreciate that, Nifty. Sports Dog says, what up, TD? 100. Been busy. Been catching up on your videos. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it. Guys, we ain't got no likes in here. Let's get the likes up. I got 7 people in the chat right now and I don't got no likes. Let's come on, guys. Let's hit the like button before I go on to my list. Let's get the likes up. Let me get this light shining correctly. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. Yeah, just make sure we get them likes up, guys. All right, so my next honorable mention is going to be Justin Herbert. You might be like, TD Justin Herbert? He's an honorable mention? Yes, guys, he's an honorable mention. Let me break this down to you. Guys, he got Jim Harbaugh as his coach. Jim Harbaugh is going to run the ball 65, 70% of the time. That's great for a winning formula. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and coming up in the 90s, the way you won games, and even still to this day, look at the San Francisco 49ers. Now, Kansas City is built a little bit different. Some teams can do that. But to me, I believe establishing the line of scrimmage, kind of like the way Detroit plays. They remind me of my old school Cowboys. If you get a good run game going, then everything else is going to be easy. Easy. So I believe that Justin Herbert's volume is going to go down. He's not going to be throwing the ball 40, 45 times. More like 28 to 32 times a game. That's the sweet spot. And I believe Saquon or Derrick Henry, somebody's going to go there to the Chargers to help this run game. That way Justin Herbert can win the game in the fourth quarter. He don't got to win the game every single quarter. It's only been a very few quarterbacks. I think Pat Mahomes did it a few years ago, where he first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, he was willing and dealing and winning the game. Tom Brady did it a few times. Other than that, he still had great run games with LeGarrette Blount. So I believe this is going to help Justin Herbert win more championships and be a better overall winning NFL quarterback, not fantasy. But in the fourth quarter and going into the fourth quadrant, he's going to have some big games because he's going to have to win some games. Quarterback is a quarterback like Troy Aikman had to do it. He had Emmitt Smith, but he still had to win the game sometimes when the game got close in the fourth quarter and they stopped the run game, right? So sometimes you still got to throw for 300 yards. I don't believe Justin Herbert's going to have a lot of games where he's going to be throwing for 300 yards. So that's why I got him as an honorable mention. But I'm still drafting him if I wait late and I stack my team in other places. Zach Seaman says Justin Fields might go to the Steelers. I heard about that, bruh. I heard about that. I heard they've been talking about it. But you know, a lot of times I like teams to be silent. If they talking about it, it usually don't happen. Usually it's a roundhouse that comes. You don't usually hear, hey, this is what we're going to do, and then they do it. Usually because you're raising the value of the guy that you're trying to get. Usually you just want to be secretive and just come in from the back door and make that move. But hey, if they do it, I think it's good for the team. I don't like the way they treated Kenny Pickett. To me, that's a person who goes into in a comparison. This is a metaphor. You know how men or women, they always in a relationship and it's always the other person's fault? And you get out of a relationship in 6 months, hey, you got to work on yourself sometimes. Sometimes it ain't the other person's fault. It ain't always Kenny Pickett's fault. It ain't always Mitchell Trubisky's fault. Maybe you need to work on developing your quarterbacks. Because I believe if Kenny Pickett went to Andy Reid, went to the San Francisco 49ers, I believe he would still be a good quarterback. So let's see that when Justin Fields get there and he struggle, I'm not going to sit here and talk about it's Justin Fields' fault. I don't want to hear that shit. So you got to develop your quarterback. You can't draft the quarterback in the first round and turn on him in a year. You can't turn on. You know how many guys who've played bad early, but you got to keep with them. You know what I'm saying? Got to keep teaching them the ways of the quarterback and learning how to get your pocket presence up. So that's what I believe about Justin Fields. All right, guys. So let's get on to the top 12. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. My number 12 guy is going to be Tua Tagovailoa, guys. Yes, Tua. Listen, I know Tua didn't play great in the cold weather. He didn't play that great down the stretch. But I believe it was because Tyreek Hill got injured and Jalen Waddle wasn't healthy. I still like that tandem. I talked about that in the video yesterday about tandems that I want to stack. And that's a tandem that I want to have. I love Mike McDaniels. He's one of the greatest offensive coordinators in the last 3 years that I've saw. Now, listen, he struggled this year. In that playoff game, I know it was cold, but you still gotta make Tua throw 4 picks. Either he throw 4 picks or they win the game. You don't sit around and try to run up the middle every time with Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane. That's not y'all. You got to get people out in space and a little bit of manipulation at the pocket and a little motion. You didn't do none of that in the cold game. Now and he said that was one of his worst offensive call games. That's what Mike McDaniel said, and I agree with that. But I still like Tua. I think he's gonna be willing and dealing. I think Tua guy gets the ball out very, very quick, and I love those type of quarterbacks, kind of like Brock Purdy. A lot of people don't like these type of quarterbacks. They not phenoms, but they are very intelligent football players, and you can win championships with intelligent football players. So Tua and Brock Purdy, Alex Smith, those type of guys, Troy Aikman, they get the ball out quick. They very accurate. That's what helps speed demon wide receivers. So I think Tua is still going to be a top 12 guy because of this offense, the way it flows. Moving on to my number 11 guy. My number 11 guy is going to be Kyler Murray. Yes, guys, Kyler Murray. And the reason why I got Kyler Murray as my top 12 quarterback going into 2024. Listen, guys, these rankings are going to be changing every week, depending on what's going on with the draft. And I'm going to be making a Patreon this year. And what my Patreon is going to be, guys, because I'm not going to make separate content over there. I might make some separate videos over there, but I'm not going to make separate videos over there and don't give it to you on YouTube. That don't make sense to me. I'm not going to waste my time that way. Even if I did this full time, I'm not going to just do separate videos for Patreon. But what I'm going to do is give you rankings and be able to update those rankings every day. And I'm also thinking about some other content that I just want to have special for Patreon. You know, and I will give some of the guys that's already members, you will have a discount for Patreon. I'm going to make sure that I can be able to do that. I don't want to cheat anybody that's already been supporting me and give you something else to pay for. So, but yes, guys, these rankings could be changing daily depending on the draft, what happens in the draft. So, Kyler Murray. Guys, Kyler Murray is a quarterback that I like. He's very accurate. He gets out in space. He can run for touchdowns, and he has a great deep ball. He came off an injury, so people are low on him. So right now, guys, is the time to buy low on this guy. Buy low on him. And I believe he's going to have really good weapons. Do I believe they get Marvin Harrison? Yes, they probably will get Marvin Harrison. But Trey McBride is an animal. I've been talking about him all year. I know y'all like, why you keep talking about Trey McBride? Because he a beast. He's a beast. He's a beast. Yeah, Trey McBride is going to be balling out. And Michael Wilson is a baller. Michael Wilson is a baller. So this team is going to be really good. Kyler Murray played really good, guys. I just did a video. Check out the short that I just did, guys. Some of the data that I talked about with him. Don't you know Kyler Murray had 44 attempts coming off a hurt knee now. This is a guy coming off a hurt knee. He had 44 attempts for 255 yards. That's a little bit, that's like 5.5 yards per carry. That's pretty good coming off a knee injury. And he had 3 rushing touchdowns. So that's only going to get better in 2024. So Kyler Murray is a quarterback that I'm willing to wait late on and win. Guys, it's going to be about 6 quarterbacks this year that you can wait late on, and I believe they can win you a fantasy football championship depending on your meat players, which I call like your top wide receivers and your running backs. If you got good wide receivers and running backs, and you got one of these quarterbacks, maybe they ain't Josh Allen, maybe they ain't Lamar, you can still win with them if you got some of these really good meat players, which is Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CMC, those type of guys. So I like Kyler Murray, guys. I think he's going to ball out in 2024. Let me go through some of the comments here. I appreciate everybody comment. I will get to your comments. And I will try to get to the people, my members first. So Sports Dog, let me see. So Nifty says, what's your ranking of quarterbacks in this draft out of Williams Mayen? Bro, I ain't got to that yet. I'm waiting because there's a lot of data that I want to see for the combine. I want to see their speed. I need to watch a little bit more video. I'm not going to go and watch no video in 10 minutes and say, that's the guy. Now, it can happen that way, but I like to see a lot of data. I did that a couple years ago, and I thought I was just going out. I was making videos too fast. I want to really sit down and study, guys. I study it. It may take me an hour, 2 hours, and then I still might have to go back and look at some more things. So I haven't went into the rookies at all yet. I don't want to do that. I'm going to wait after the combine, then I'm going to hit y'all with guys. That's what I did last year. I'm going to hit y'all with guys. Right now, Caleb Williams looks really, really good. I watched him play. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's worth the number 1 overall pick. But right now, I don't have them ranked. I think he's better than May and Daniels as in right now. Great question, though, Nifty. Great question, bruh. I see you in here, Duncan. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, bro. Appreciate you being in here. Um, let's see. Let's see. Big Will, appreciate you being in here, bro. Let me see. Let me see here. Oh, Harambe says I'll be joining soon, bro. You good? No, you good, bro. I know y'all gonna support me. And Harambe says he's gonna have a better year in 2024. I agree. And Duncan says if I'm the Dolphins, I'm taking a quarterback in the first 2 rounds. Tua ain't it. Listen, I agree with that, but I think he's a great bridge quarterback. If you can get somebody who can be better, that's okay. But I'm not going to go and sell out and move up to and hurt my team, overall build on my team, because they need help other places. So Tua just, it's just like a relationship. Sometimes people are just placeholders. Sometimes they placeholders until you can do better. You might be grinding, they might not appreciate you. So, I don't want to get too far off in that, but I like to use metaphors as far as real life and sports. But yeah, you could be right, bro. But like I said, guys, I will be breaking down the rookies for draft season. Right now, I'm just still focusing on everything that I want to talk about before the draft comes, because there's a lot of things that I need to get out and tell y'all so y'all can get ready for your draft. That's how you win a championship. And that's how a lot of guys that won championships that followed me, because they watched the off-season content, things that I talked about building up. Like Tyreek Hill, I talked about, and Amon-Ra, I talked about them all year long, as soon as the season was over. So, let's get on to my number 10 guy. My number 10 guy is Joe Burrow. I love Joe Burrow this year. Last year, I told everybody I was off him completely. Not because he's a bad quarterback. I did not like the way this offense was ran. And now I think they learned their lesson. It ain't no Jamar. Now, listen, Jamar's going to get 10 targets a game, but it ain't going to just be Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon, right? It ain't going to be like a very easy offense to defend. I think they're going to get more dynamic. I don't think they're going to bring T. Higgins back. And if they do bring T. Higgins back, I'm okay with that, but I'm still not taking T. Higgins. I'm not depending on him. Now, if I get him for a good value, 5th or 6th round, yeah. But I'm not taking no early T. Higgins. But I'm taking Jamar Chase in the 1st round, and I'm taking Joe Burrow as my quarterback. That's a premium stack this year. So I love Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is going to be a better quarterback next year. He's coming off that injury. And he's very, very intelligent. He's a gunslinger, but he's also very smart and intelligent. He's just not going to throw a bunch of picks. So I love Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow next year, guys. So Joe Burrow is going to ball out. Get him. You can wait late to get him now. You ain't got to get him as a top 5 pick anymore. You can wait late. People are off of him. So I like Joe Burrow. Make sure you pick him up. Let's move on to my number 9. My number 9 guy. My number 9 guy, guys, is going to be Dak Prescott. Yes, Dak Prescott. Listen, I was off Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb for us drafting them, but they were good trade for targets, and I said that. As time went on, I was like, listen, guys, I'm not saying Dak Prescott suck. I don't think he's like an elite quarterback in the NFL, but he don't suck. He can win a Super Bowl with the right team or in the right situation. And CeeDee Lamb was a good wide receiver. It's just I'm not taking them in the top, like in the 1st round, and it worked out. But after 4 or 5 games, CeeDee Lamb went off. But the first 5 weeks of the season, CeeDee Lamb wasn't even a top 32 wide receiver. I mean, he might have been top 32. I'm not going to sit here and cap. But he wasn't doing really well. And I had a lot of trolls that was trolling my channel. Man, CeeDee Lamb, they going to kill you. And then they leave. That's why, I'm learning how to do the comment section. I'm not going to bite on every bone, right? No pun intended. Pause. I'm not going to because a lot of people just sitting around, they ain't got nothing to do. And so when I'm wrong, they want to say something. And that's part of YouTube, and I accept that now. Because I need everybody has a comment. So there's nothing wrong with that. But when I was right and CeeDee Lamb wasn't hitting right away, they ran. They didn't come back and troll my channel. So, guys, but this year, Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb is going to be on the same page. I love that they got into it. That was fantastic. Sometimes, guys, it's just like a relationship. If you take a relationship and they never, ever argue, I'm not going to say never, because there's some relationships where people don't really get there and they still have great relationships. But most of the time, guys, you need a little bit of arguing. You need a little bit of tension, and because it makes you better. And I believe Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb is going to be better because of the tension that they had going in the playoff game. And now Dak is going to make sure CeeDee Lamb get the ball, and CeeDee Lamb going to make sure that he's on the same page. So I like this stack next year. Now, I'm not saying that's a premium stack, but it's going to be a good stack. CeeDee Lamb is going to ball out. He's a worry for 1st round pick this year. I'm willing to go down with the ship with him this year. So let me go through some of the comments. Okay, here. Harambe says, bruh, Joe Burrow in 2024 is, yeah, Joe Cool in 2024. Yes, he's gonna ball out. I agree with that 100%. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of trolls. You're right, Harambe. It is, and I gotta understand, man. You gotta give people the space to troll. Me, guys, I'm still learning this as my for myself. I want to win every single battle, and you can't do that in life. You can't cut off your nose despite your face. So if you win every single battle, you're gonna go to jail. And I'm just talking about in real life. Somebody cut you off in the road, you're gonna get mad and chase them down and tell them you did me wrong. Some things you just gotta let go and laugh and keep it moving. And I'm learning that. I'm learning that because I'm super competitive. Because I was listening, and I don't want to get off topic, but that's what kind of drives my fantasy football channel. And a lot of people sometimes can take me wrong. Guys, don't never take me wrong. And listen, y'all subscribers, just like a friend. So we're going to go back and forth. Don't never take it personal. I would never disrespect you unless you disrespect me. So, but yeah, man, it is a lot of trolls. But yes, I love Dak Prescott. Moving on to my number 8 guy. This is a guy that nobody is going to really talk about, but this guy's going to ball out. I like this team next year. And it's Matthew Stafford. Yes, guys, Matthew Stafford got Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams. This is going to be one of the top teams in the NFC. I said what I said. This is going to be one of the top teams in the NFC. And guys, listen, Matthew Stafford passing the ball over 40, 45 times a game. I won't be surprised if he have more passing attempts than any other quarterback in the NFL next year. I would not be surprised. This is how Sean McVay called plays for Matthew Stafford. Cooper Kupp has still got a lot of football left in him as a great slot wide receiver. Puka Nacua is a monster. That boy don't feel no pain. He get hit in the head. Man, he probably, listen, I don't mean no pun intended. That boy probably played two or three concussions because he just overcame it. I saw it. I know a concussion. I played football. When a person get up a little slow and they just kind of, they fight through the concussion because they know if they stumble, you're gone. You're gone. So he fought through a lot of big hits and kept playing. Puka is a dog. He's a silent dog. So now I don't think he's no tremendous phenom type athlete, but you don't have to be a phenom athlete to be great. You can watch any sport. You don't have to be a phenom athlete to be great. You can be a hard worker and you can have a big heart. Just like me. I'm not the greatest talker or the greatest public speaker, but my passion and my knowledge overrules that, right? Same thing with Puka. Puka ain't the fastest guy, but his heart and his anticipation and his route running overcomes that. Look at Quentin Johnson, was drafted way before Puka Nacua. Who's better, Puka Nacua or Quentin Johnson? Puka. So I love Matthew Stafford, guys. Take Matthew Stafford. If you can wait late to get him. That's why I told you it's like 5 or 6 quarterbacks that you can wait late on to get. All right, guys, going on to my number 7, then I'm going to get to a couple of the comments. My number 7 guy is going to be Anthony Richardson. Now, listen, I ain't going to say he shocked me, but I still think Taysom Hill and Anthony Richardson are not too much they the same quarterback coming out. I know people might say that's disrespectful to Anthony. No, it ain't. Taysom Hill didn't get his shot. The NFL wasn't ready for guys like Taysom Hill and Anthony Richardson. Guys, don't you know if Anthony Richardson came out 5-6 years ago, he would have been a 3rd or 4th round pick? But now that they've seen Jalen Hurts develop, they've seen other quarterbacks develop, they are start taking these guys and teaching them the game. Vince Young's career is a travesty. He was an Anthony Richardson type, but they didn't take the time to teach him. You got to be able to teach these guys. That's why I believe in offensive coordinators in just regular football, especially in fantasy football. So Anthony Richardson, guys, I think he's very intelligent. Anytime you can see a guy and he played the way he did in Florida, that's coaching. And then you come to the pros and you start throwing dimes. He was throwing dimes to Michael Pittman. He missed a couple times, but I don't who ain't gonna miss. Pat Mahomes missed. Lamar Jackson, a lot of guys top Jalen Hurts, they all miss, but it don't matter. You don't get 45 attempts a game. So I like Anthony Richardson rushing upside. The only thing that he needs to learn is how to slide, bruh. I know you 250, but you can't take that grown man 10 off on you and he don't care nothing about his body. You gonna have to slide, bruh. It's impossible. Now, listen, even Cam Newton was a 260-pound, 6'6" guy, monster phenom, monster. and his body broke down because taking hits. You cannot take hits from 230-pound guys that all they do is that, and they got calluses around their body, so you can't take that. You gonna hurt your shoulder. So Anthony Richardson, you got to learn how to slide, bruh. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. We got 15 people in here, and we only got 7 likes. Let's get the likes up to help it out, and also share the live. So you're gonna have to learn how to slide, bruh. Other than that, you're gonna be a great I think you'll be a great quarterback. I'm not meaning great as in Hall of Famer, but I just mean great in a vacuum. Right now, we just talked about in a vacuum for 2024. And I like Anthony Richardson rushing upside. I'm drafting him some this year. I didn't draft him none last year because I was just nervous. I needed to see it. But I saw it. He's a smart, intelligent guy. I'm drafting him. So let's go. Let me get through some of the comments. Harambe said, okay. Harambe says, for sure, got to catch some shrapnel, but you keep it 100 when wrong. Right. I do. You got to be able to catch some shrapnel. I agree with that. You got to get tougher now. Now I'm tough, but every victory ain't a victory. You like I said, you can cut off your nose and spite your face. Appreciate that, bro. What's going on, Jake? He says, what up, bro? Quentin who? Quentin Johnson. Jake says the Rams are honestly close to being what they were. I agree. As a Seahawks fan, we never do well against those guys. But, man, if the Rams fix their defense, watch out. Stafford back. He is. And all they need is a pass rusher. So I'm telling you guys, the older a quarterback get, the better he is. It's like golf. You know how guys can win in golf, even though they don't have the long ball like they used to, but they're better putter. Like when you get on the greens, they can putt because they didn't play in the game so long. So experienced guys kills. I know in my job, I'm in IT. I can go and pick up the machines and slide them in and go and configure it. But I got guys that are older. They not maybe as agile as me. But they've been doing it so long that I'll be like, man, why the machine ain't doing this? They'll be like, oh, it's this and this. I'm like, how you know that? They've been doing it for so long. Experience kills. Same thing in NBA, baseball, all that. You can sit around and be running, hitting the wall as a outfielder. But when you like been playing it for so long, you might not be as fast, but you can read the ball off the bat. You can tell how it sounds. Oh, I got that one. I'm going in the gap and get it. Bam. Oh, that's a base hit. Let me get ready to play it off the wall. But the young guy, he just out there running. It's kind of like animals. You got horses, they run too hard early, but the more experienced the horse is, he knows what time when to turn it on and turn it off. So Matthew Stafford has figured that out. He's a veteran. He's a very, very savvy now. And I believe this team is ready to win a Super Bowl. Let me see. Kenji, what's going on, bruh? What's going on with you? Glad to see. He said they need to teach the Jets quarterback the game. Yes, man. They need to get a great offensive coordinator. That's what they need. A quarterback guru, somebody off like an Andy Reid, a young Andy Reid type. They've been drafting a lot of quarterbacks, and some of these guys has been good, but they ain't had the right type of system. And listen, guys, I stand on this. If Zach Wilson goes to the Kansas City Chiefs, I believe, I'm not saying he's going to be a great quarterback or anything. He's a better quarterback than he is now. Andy Reid is a guru. Guys, Andy Reid have had sorry quarterbacks, but when they played for him, they was really good. So you got to have a good offensive coordinators and good quarterback gurus to groom these guys. Kenji says 260 is hella heavy, even for a 6'6" guy. Right. But Cam Newton was straight muscle, pause. He was straight muscle with the 260. He wasn't overweight with it. He wasn't Big Ben 260. Big Ben was more like 270. He said, what app you use for fantasy? I use Sleeper, bruh, and we'll have some leagues, what you call it? I'm gonna have leagues, guys, where y'all can join and play against me. I had one league this year and I won that league. So I will have leagues, guys, but you got to be a member to join. If you're not a member, then it's going to cost you the play. It's going to cost you to play. And the higher the membership you up, the more you win. So I will have a league where if you're a Phenom Crew member, you can win like a $200 gift card, right? And if you are let's say, a rookie member, which is only $1, you might be able to win like a $10 gift card. So that's what I'm going to have for my members this year at my listener leagues. So make sure you join me on my listener leagues, guys. I play in a lot of super flex leagues, but I'm going to be doing best ball for my listeners. Like I'm gonna do one a year. I might do a dynasty league, and those are going to be premium. Those probably going to be for my Phenom crew members or my high Patreon crew members, right? Where you can get in a dynasty league with me and continue to play against me and learn the way I draft, guys. I won out of not 16 leagues that I did as a listener league, but I had 16 leagues total from private leagues and all. I won 5 championships. I was in 6 championships. Let's see. Harambe says, going to deploy Stafford and Lamar in 2024. I love that combo. Jake says, Stafford came through at the end of my fantasy playoff. He was clutch, right? What's going on, Diesel? What's going on, Mayweather? He says, what do you think of Caleb Williams as the Bears fan? I really hope we get Marvin Harrison Jr. I think y'all need Marvin Harrison Jr. and an offensive line. I think y'all should trade that #1 overall pick, keep Justin Fields, and pick a bunch of guys in the first round. Great offensive linemen, great, maybe a couple defensive guys, and get Marvin Harrison Jr. maybe with the #4 pick or something like that. Trade back. That's what I would do. I've watched Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones do that, and it worked. We didn't take those early picks. We traded back a lot to try to get more picks because there's great players all through the draft. I mean, you can get great players in round 7. All right, so guys, let's go ahead. Let's finish with this. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. We got 14 people in here. We got 8 likes. Let's get 14 likes. Let's get 14 likes. Okay, so my number 6 guys, y'all gonna be like, y'all gonna think I'm crazy with this one. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy. It's Pat Mahomes. Yes, Pat Mahomes, guys. Let me tell you why. So, guys, when you done won 3 championships, you're not trying, it's nothing, you can go and win all 16, 17 games in the regular season and you get knocked out in the first round, you suck. I said what I said. If you get knocked out in the first round, you suck, even if you go undefeated. It's about championships. Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce ain't trying to throw for no 5. Now, listen, Pat Mahomes will have a couple games where he will throw for 4 touchdowns, but not like he used to, like when he was a rookie or 2 years after that. Like where he was doing 5 touchdowns, 55 touchdowns total for the year. No, he's going to stay around 35 to 40. And when the playoffs get ready to come on in the real life, that's when he's going to turn up. So, guys, I'm going to tell you something. Be careful drafting Chiefs and depending on them for your fantasy football championship. These guys are going to be winding down then or trying to stay steady because they don't want to get hurt. You don't want to get Travis Kelce hurt week 8 and when you already up by 14 points and somebody fall on his ankle, then he out for the rest of the season. You don't want that to happen. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes. So any kind, unless it's a young guy like Pacheco or another young running back, you draft him. They're going to use the hell out of him. Another wide receiver like Rashee Rice and another rookie, they're going to use him up. But Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce would not be used up. So I'm fading those guys in fantasy. I'm fading them. So that's why I got Pat Mahomes number 6. Now listen, Pat Mahomes is going to ball out. He could ball out for you week 6, 7, 8, 9. But they get around week 13, 14, and they already got the division sold up. Pat Mahomes going to throw for 2 touchdowns. And then they up by 14 in the 4th quarter, and they're going to hand the ball off and just kind of chill. They about winning championships now. Pat Mahomes wants 6 championships. He don't want no 6 MVPs. If the MVP come because he just played solid, then it come. But he ain't trying to throw for no 70 touchdowns. Those are guys like Joe Burrow that they need to prove that. Anthony Richardson, Lamar Jackson, those guys got something to prove. Pat Mahomes ain't got nothing to prove in the regular season. So that's why I got him number 6. All right. I'm going to do my next quarterback, and then I get to the comments. Guys, let's get the likes up. We got 14 people in here. We got 9 likes. Appreciate everybody just being here, guys. I appreciate it. So, my number 5 guy is going to be Jordan Love. Yes, guys, Jordan Love. Jordan Love won me some championships. He won me like 3 championships last year. Took me to the playoffs in another 2. I was in play out of 16 leagues. I went to the playoffs in 9. The other ones are orphan leagues because I buy orphan leagues all the time, guys. I'm done. I'm kind of calming down because I got to focus on my subscribers and my content, and I don't want to have too much overhead. So, but going back to Jordan Love, guys, this team is built around Jordan Love. So Jordan Love is a guy that I believe he's going to be like an old school Pat Mahomes. He has a lot to prove in the regular season to try to get his bag. So he's going to be throwing for 4 to 5 touchdowns in the fantasy football playoffs. That's why I want Jordan Love. Jordan Love, I'm trying to wait at that honey spot where I can get a Tyreek Hill or a Jamar Chase or Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then maybe a Bijan Robinson or a Jahmyr Gibbs, and then a Trey McBride, and then maybe another running back or Rachaad White, and then bam, then I'm taking Jordan Love. And listen, I'm not gonna tell you I didn't say he was like a stacking with somebody because I don't know who his number 1 wide receiver going to be. I know I'm taking Christian Watson because he's the boom player, but the consistent guy could be Jaden Reed, or it could be Romeo Doubs. But Christian Watson is not gonna be the consistent guy. I don't need consistent guys. That's the way I play, guys, and I got a new way of playing fantasy that a lot of people get turned off. Just go look at the comment on my video. Man, how you gonna talk about you not taking CMC, but you talking about taking Jahmyr Gibbs? It doesn't make sense. And then I win. Like last year, a lot of people said, why'd you take CJ Stroud as your starting quarterback? And CJ Stroud ended up hitting. I'm not saying I knew he was going to hit, but it's just my strategy. So I like taking a guy like Jordan Love who has something to prove where when they get in the green zone, he trying to pass that ball in there. You see how Matt LaFleur was calling plays for Jordan Love? Jordan Love was the best quarterback down the stretch. That playoff game, I saw him come back into a young guy where he kind of panicked at the end of the game. He panicked. That was terrible. But up until then, that boy was a monster. I mean, that boy's better than Aaron Rodgers at the age that he is. He learned from those guys. And guys, that's how it happens. It's like father, son, grandson, great-great-grandson. Each generation going to get better. So Brett Favre came in and he learned from Andy Reid and Mike Holmgren and those guys, right? And then Aaron Rodgers came in and he got drafted last in the first round or 22nd or something like that. And he learned from Brett Favre and said, you know what, Brett, you great, but you throw too many picks. And Aaron Rodgers is the best interception quarterback to ever play the game where he don't throw picks. But he also take risks because he learned how to do it from Brett Favre. And then Jordan Love came to see, okay, this is what Aaron is doing, and this is how you throw off platforms, and this is what you do. And when that boy figured it out like week 7 or 8, he was a monster. So Green Bay has Lightning has struck 3 times in Green Bay. They got 3 on the way Hall of Fame type quarterbacks. Now he's not a Hall of Famer yet, but the way that boy's playing, that boy's on the way to be a Hall of Famer. So I like Jordan Love as my number 5 quarterback. Let me get to some of the comments. Let me see. Harambe says, this is what sunk me. Mahomes in the regular season. Right. And he wasn't playing bad. He just was, wow, I'm not going to wear myself out. We all, listen, I thought about it a little bit. I'm like, ain't no damn way Travis Kelce still can move. Why he not balling? And then I saw it. I'm like, them boys, they ready for the playoffs. Them boys ready for the, I've seen this. I've watched the Yankees since I was a small boy. I watched a lot of championship teams in all sports. And people are not going to wear themselves out when it doesn't matter. They trying to win championships. And so I knew Mahomes. Now, I had Mahomes in a best ball league, and I didn't even do good in that best ball league. It was on underdog. It was because he wasn't trying to win. He wasn't trying to wear himself out. Or Travis Kelce. Diesel says you have to go to the dots in the top right to like the video. Oh, okay. Thank you, Diesel. Appreciate that, bruh. That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate that. Yeah, guys, I don't know why they don't got the easy like button on here. I don't know why they don't got the easy like button on here. But yeah, make sure you like the video, guys. It helps the brother out. The HBO special. I can't think of my brother that does that, man. I'm not trying to steal his stuff, but I watch his content. Let me see. Also, Mr. Grapefruit, what's going on with your bruh? He says, I like CJ Stroud as QB3 overall. Bro, I'm getting there. I'm gonna tell you what I got on ranking. We kind of on the same page. I give you that little hint. We kind of on the same page. I like that. Mr. Grateful says Allen and Mahomes 1 and 2, then Stroud. I would say Allen, just because the way he played the game, but Mahomes, bro, I got him at number 6, man. I don't think he's trying, not in fantasy. In real life, he's number 1. In my opinion, he's number 1 in real life. In fantasy, he could be 6 and he could even be further down. Because like I said, it doesn't matter to him. I think this team is going to transform more to a running team. But when it counts, Mahomes going to wheel and deal. Sports Dog, what's up, bro? He said, well, this year's draft, I'll be picking number 1. First pick RB or wide receiver, but on the turn around, I'll look to stack a wide receiver and quarterback or a quarterback running back. Will this work? Or do I need to handle starting at pick 1 different? I think you need to take the best available player. If you believe that CMC is the best available player and he's not going to get hurt, then you take him. So listen, this is what I say. Anybody that want to draft CMC number 1, you do it, but don't make no excuses if he go down or if he missed a couple games. Listen, I love you. I'm going to chastise you. And you probably won't even tell me because I ain't telling TD because he going to try to talk junk to me in the live. I will. I'm not gonna disrespect you, but I'm a sharpie. Just like if y'all tell me, say, TD, man, this ain't working. You said pick Christian Watson. He ain't had a good game in 10 weeks. I have to take that sometimes if it falls that way, right? That's why I try to over-explain to make sure we are on the same page, to understand what I'm saying. But listen, I'm not taking CMC at the number 1 because I don't want a running back to go down and to kill my team. I'm more going wide receiver. I'm going Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, or Jamar Chase. I mean, I'm not saying CeeDee is the number 1, but you can even take CeeDee Lamb. I don't believe in taking no running back, man. I think that's a lot of pressure for a 29-year-old running back. That's just a lot of pressure. Mr. Grapefruit says, you knew he was going to hit. You tried to tell others. Right. Dollar Bill, what's up, bruh? What's going on? Always supporting the channel. Guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Now we got the likes up. I appreciate it. Zach says Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen 1 and 2. I agree with that. Yes, sir. Y'all still in the sauce a little bit. You gonna make people come off the live, bruh. You already put that out there. I agree with that. Aaron, what's going on? Subscribe to the channel if you're new, bruh. Glad to see you in here. He says if your quarterback doesn't run the ball and score, I got somebody who wants some cutting edge content. He says if your quarterback doesn't run the ball and score, rushing touchdown, they are not top 4. Boom. That's it. Now listen, you can throw it. Look, Pat Mahomes is special. He can run. He can do whatever it takes. So there are outliers. Ain't nothing 100%. Even when you do math, when you break it down an algebra problem, it's greater than, less than. It ain't no equal to. It's very few. Like it might be a few things that are equal to, but even in that, guys, it's always a decimal to it, right? It's scientific to tell you that ain't nothing 100%. So you can get a quarterback that may not be a running quarterback and it could be number 1. But usually, guys, I'm going for a guy that got rushing upside, especially in 6-point rushing touchdown leagues, especially the way these fantasy football platforms are. And also, guys, when you get points per carry, you get points per carry too. So I agree with him, bro. Appreciate you, Aaron. That's great content. He says Lamar, top or not top 4. Allen, Hurts, Lamar, and Richardson are going to continue to produce. I agree, as long as they can stay healthy. Excuse me. He says Hurts will give an easy 10 points a game with his legs. That's playoff production. I agree with that. Now listen, that's going to go down a little bit. So I want people to be aware. That's why I'm going to move Jalen down because they got to keep him healthy. They can't have that shoulder go out before that contract goes out. So I believe that he's going to rush the ball a little bit less, but not too much less. He's still a good top 5 quarterback to take. All right, guys, let's move on. All right, so we did Jordan Love was the number 5 guy. Go ahead, Big Will. Tell me what you agree to disagree on. Tell me. Go ahead, bruh. But I get to that comment. Let me go on. I'm going to go on to my next guy. But tell me what you agree to disagree on. Number 4 is CJ Stroud. Yes, guys, CJ Stroud. Listen, guys, C.J. Stroud, I think he outplayed Justin Herbert as a rookie. Now, it's close. It's close. Justin Herbert had Austin Eckler. He had a couple other guys that was pretty good, that was elite. C.J. Stroud made Devin Singletary look elite. He made Nico Collins, who was probably on his way to be a subpar wide receiver, look elite. He made Tank Dell look elite. I got to put C.J. Stroud as the best rookie season that I ever saw. I didn't see Dan Marino, so I could be wrong about Dan Marino, so I want to exclude him right now because I didn't watch Dan Marino as a rookie. But the quarterbacks that I've saw since I've been watching football, C.J. Stroud is here, and I will put Justin Herbert here. C.J. Stroud balled out. So this guy is a phenom. Pocket presence is tremendous. He's athletic. He can extend plays. I'm taking him number 4, and I'm taking Tank Dell and I'm taking Nico Collins. I want to stack those two guys with him. And whatever running back, it doesn't matter because I don't believe the running back is going to be that important on this team. They might get a guy out the draft, but either way, it doesn't matter. So, guys, C.J. Stroud is him. They're going to be passing the ball in the green zone to Nico Collins. So he's going to be padding those stats, right? He's going to have a lot of passing touchdowns. So I like C.J. Stroud, guys, to pick him up as my number 4 ranking quarterback right now. And listen, that's going to change every week. I'm going to do my rankings on Patreon. So be ready, guys, when I drop my Patreon link. That is coming soon. And again, if you already a member, I'm going to try to give you a discount, or I'm going to figure out how to do that, guys. I don't want to be charging guys multiple spots. So if you do get that, I want you to be getting something new that you're not getting for being a YouTube member. So my rankings, I don't really do a lot of rankings, but I'm going to do rankings and I'm going to fix them every week, even during the season. All right. So let's go to my number 3 guy. My number 3 guy is Jalen Hurts. Yes, guys, Jalen Hurts. And the reason why Jalen Hurts is my number 3, guys, I believe he gonna have really A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are elite weapons. I think he's gonna pass the ball more than he's have in the past, right? He's gonna be passing the ball more. So I think Jalen Hurts is gonna have less rushing touchdowns, but more passing touchdowns, and he's still gonna be an elite quarterback. Not as I wouldn't say he was elite as he was a couple years before, or even last year going into preseason. But I think he still would be fine. So I'm going to take Jalen Hurts, and I got to put him here. The guy's still going to be having at least 8 to 10 rushing touchdowns a season. So Jalen Hurts, pick him up. Going on to my number 2 guy, guys. It's going to be Lamar Jackson. Yes, Lamar Jackson. And the reason why Lamar Jackson is my number 2 quarterback is because I believe this guy is going to have a total of 40 touchdowns going into 2024. So it's going to be either 30 passing touchdowns with 10 rushing touchdowns, or however you want to split that pie up. But this guy's going to be an elite fantasy guy. And even when it ain't elite numbers, you stick with him because this guy can win you weeks. That's why I trusted Lamar, didn't trade him, and I wrote him out all the way, pause, until he got hot during the fantasy football playoffs, and he won me like 4 leagues. So, guys, I love Lamar Jackson. And last but not least, guys, is Josh Allen. And I put Josh Allen over Lamar because the way they play. Josh Allen is going to always run the ball in the goal line. So that's why I had to knock down James Cook. He always going to snipe his running backs, kind of like Jalen Hurts. And he always, the way he played, his fantasy numbers are always going to be bigger than most quarterbacks, even though he might not be the best quarterback per se with the completion percentage and interception. It doesn't matter. In fantasy, he's the best fantasy quarterback the last 3 years, guys, and you got to give him some respect. So that's why I got him number 1. I got to give a guy respect. All right, but yeah, Big Will, I wanted you to tell me, because you might have a great point, but no hard feelings or nothing. I just want to tell me what you agree to disagree on. Far as, is it something about the running quarterbacks? You don't think you have to have a running quarterback to win? See, Aaron says Hurts would give you an easy 10 points per game. Right. Okay. Big Will says Justin Fields wasn't top 10. Right. He was a dual threat, but not elite. I agree. That's why I didn't tell people to draft Justin Fields. And I'm not going to, it's not about what I told people to do, but Justin Fields, he's volatile. So if you took him, you had to go ahead, you had to ride that ship. That's why I told a lot of people not to take him. But he says Mahomes is the GOAT, right? But his shiftiness, craftiness, and creativity with his game makes him great. But we talking about fantasy though, Big Will. Bro, you right. He is the GOAT right now. I'm not gonna call him the greatest of all time. Not right now in the whole football history. But as in on the field right now, yes, he's the best quarterback in the game. But we talking about fantasy. See, that's what people got to get used to. You can't just draft guys because they good in like in regular football. You got to draft for fantasy points. That's why Lamar numbers wasn't the greatest. He was like top 6 with his numbers, but he got hot in the fantasy football playoffs. So if you had Lamar with a good squad, you won. So you got to kind of go off like Josh Allen, man, is probably the best quarterback you can get in fantasy because he gonna get 1 or 2 rushing touchdowns a game, and he's still young, so he's not gonna really wear his body out, right? So he's still young, so he's still gonna get those rushing touchdowns. Pat Mahomes, 2 passing touchdowns with going 26 for 30 is not gonna win you a fantasy week. Now he used to go 40 for 52 with 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. But now that they done won 3 Super Bowls, he's trying to win more Super Bowls. He's not trying to wear his body down in the regular season. So that's what drops him down in fantasy. So you got to look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady was never the #1 quarterback. After that Randy Moss season, he wasn't never the #1 quarterback, but he was winning Super Bowls. You was going after guys like Cam Newton. Cam Newton is Josh Allen. So that's why you got to know the difference between a great regular quarterback, who's the GOAT, and a great fantasy football quarterback. He says, where do you rank Fields? Man, I don't got Fields on here because I don't know where he's going to be. I can't rank him. If he's on the Atlanta Falcons, it's different. If he's on the Pittsburgh Steelers, he's different. If he don't get a job, he's different. So I don't know yet. So I didn't rank him yet. That's why I said every week my rankings will be changing. That's why I'm gonna leave it for Patreon, and I'm also gonna do a draft guide. That's where you're gonna be able to get my Patreon. I mean, that's where you're gonna be able to get on my Patreon. You're gonna be able to get my draft guide that I'm gonna update through the season, telling you guys, having my rankings on there, and also having guys in certain tiers. And also, I'm gonna do a special where if you can buy the draft guide, and I'll help you with your draft. And that's gonna be for a pretty penny. It ain't gonna be nothing crazy expensive, but for my time is money, right? So you'll be able to get the draft guide, and I'll be with you and tell you how to use the draft guide, which you'll be able to know how to use it. But if you got the person that made it, I'll tell you, like, listen, this is who you need to take care of. And I did a bunch of consultations, and those guys, majority of those people won championships or went deep into their playoffs. He says, where do you rank Jordan Love? I got Jordan Love #5, bro. I got to just go back through the live when you get time. Yeah, I got Jordan Love #5. Big Will says facts. Yes. Yes, sir, bro. Like I said, you ain't wrong about what you're saying, but it's about fantasy football. It's different. That's why Christian Watson and Tyreek Hill's not the best route runner. Well, when it comes to fantasy and he's scoring 70-yard touchdowns, that's tremendous for fantasy football. Also, I like that in real life too, but that's just the way I play football. Christian Watson, guys, reason why I got to the championship, Christian Watson had 2 or 3 games where he went off that helped me get to the playoffs. So you don't think everybody got to be a Garrett Wilson and running a bunch of routes a game and getting a bunch of targets. You can win with guys getting 5 or 6 targets, but those targets are premium because they're scoring long touchdowns. That's what you got to understand when I talk about Christian Watson. Don't be like Christian Watson and then Justin Jefferson, and then we out of context. We talking about 2 different things. Christian Watson is not better than Justin Jefferson, but for fantasy purposes, I would love to have Christian Watson as my flex player or my wide receiver 3 for that boom, because he can outscore Justin Jefferson. It's just Justin Jefferson's going to give you 20 every week. 20, 20, 30, 20, 30, 20. And Christian Watson's going to be 8, 8, 8, 50, 50, 8, 8, 8, 50, 50. Those 50 points going to win you a week. I'd rather have that 50 than have an average guy giving you 15 points a game. He says, what do you value elite rushing quarterbacks over an elite wide receiver? I don't really look at it that way. I don't really value an elite rushing quarterback over an elite wide receiver. I just kind of take the best available player. So also you got to think about your bill. You got to have a plan A, but then you got to be able to move all the way down to plan C and D. So I might come in and say, well, I want to have CJ Stroud and Tank Dell and Nico Collins. That might be my plan, right? And then next thing I know, Nico goes. Okay, so CJ Stroud's still there, so I'm going to take the next best available player. It might be a running back, it could be a wide receiver, but I'm going to still get CJ Stroud. So you got to just be able to move. I don't really rank which one is more which is better. Now listen, sometimes your fantasy league can be set up different. If your fantasy league, if your quarterbacks are scoring a bunch of points, like if the average amount of points for a quarterback is 30, and then the average amount of points for a wide receiver is 18, then you might need to go and try to get a quarterback early that's booming like a Josh Allen or Lamar or a Jalen Hurts. So that matters. But in a regular standard PPR league, I'm taking best available player. I just got a plan for a stack. I always go in and I'm giving y'all this is something that I should leave for my Patreon and my Phenom crew members. But I'm always going into a draft with a stack mentality. It might not happen, but I'm okay with that. So I might want Anthony Richardson and Michael Pittman. Guess what? Anthony Richardson might get sniped. That's okay. If I got to pivot to Jared Goff and take other players before I get to the next quarterback, I do that. I'm not going to take a quarterback that I don't believe in just because I need a quarterback and I got sniped. He says, have you seen Xavier Worthy? Yes, I seen him from Texas. I watched him play. He says, wide receiver from Texas, Speed Demon. Yes. He's okay. I got to watch more of them. But speed demons are always going to be good in the NFL. You always can get behind somebody like Tank Dell. He was a speed demon. So, yes, Xavier Worthy is going to be good. Gaming X, what's up, bro? Braces? What do you rank Bryce Young? I think he's a great buy low and stash him and just see if he develops or not. He ain't nothing worth, but in a dynasty league, 1 first-round pick. That's it. And just see if he develops. Don't spend a bunch of draft picks on him and thinking he's going to be something great. He could be, but just buy low on him and stash him. You could already have Josh Allen and Lamar. Go take a first-round pick and go get Bryce and get Bryce Young and see if he can develop. Unless you know you need somebody else in the first round. But if you got a draft of somebody in the first round that ain't that great, say, well, you know what? I might as well use that first-round pick for Bryce Young to see if he develops. If he don't, it's okay. It's okay, just 1 pick. Now, if he worth was 2 first, I would tell you don't do it. But Bryce Young, to me, man, I'm not going to judge him yet. But as far as the value, he just worth 1 first-round pick in a super flex league, in a single quarterback league, maybe a 3rd-round pick in single quarterback league. All right, guys. So thank y'all guys for tuning in. Let me see, guys. I'm gonna see what some of this stuff in here. Highlight save to your channel as unlisted video. So yeah, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in, guys. I'm gonna do more vertical lives like this from my phone. Y'all be safe. If you got any video recommendations, just hit me up in the comment section and let me know what you're looking for. And be ready for my Patreon, guys, for my rankings and my draft guide. See y'all later. Peace.